Hi everyone, welcome back. In our previous video, we showed how to connect an AI agent like Junie to Blender using a community MCP add-on. Since then, things have moved fast. We've made two changes to our setup. First, we upgraded from Blender 5.0 to Blender 5.1. Second, and this is the bigger one, we switched from the community Blender MCP add-on to the official Blender MCP server that now ships directly with Blender 5.1. Maintained by the Blender Lab itself. Today we want to take a moment to explain what changed and why it matters. Dahlia, can you walk us through it?
Sure. In our previous video, we were using a community-built add-on by Siddhartha Ahuja that became the de facto standard for connecting AI agents to Blender. Installation was straightforward, and the protocol it used was a custom TCP socket with a simple string command. MCP, the Model Context Protocol, was introduced by Anthropic in November 24 as an open standard to solve what's called the M times N integration problem. Every AI app needed custom glue code for every tool it wanted to use. MCP standardizes that. It's built on JSON RPC 2.0, a well-established, structured message format. With Blender 5.1, released March 17, 2026, the Blender Lab shipped an official MCP server as a first-class Blender extension. The Blender Lab is the Blender Foundation's arm for experimental features, and the MCP server was first announced in their Q1 2026 activity report. Worth noting, because it's a Blender Lab extension and not a core Blender feature, you won't find it in the official 5.1 release notes. It's versioned and distributed independently from Blender itself. To install it, you drag and drop the zip file into Blender. You'll need to do this twice. First to add the Blender Lab repository, and then to install the add-on itself. Alternatively, you can download the zip and use install from disk. And here's a practical advantage that sounds small but makes a real difference in daily use. Because it's a proper Blender extension, you can tick Start at Launch in the add-on preferences. And from that point on, every time you open Blender, the MCP server is already running and ready to accept connections. The official server also improves access to Blender's Python API documentation. The AI can query the docs directly as part of the conversation, rather than relying purely on what it already knows from training. For example, if I ask it to add a subdivision surface modifier, it can query the live subsurf modifier documentation right there in the conversation, so it knows the exact property names for the Blender version that's actually running, not just what it learned during training.
Thanks, Dahlia. One thing worth saying clearly, given the community debate around Anthropic's involvement, what we're doing here is procedural generation of 3D models. We're using AI as a coding assistant. It writes Python scripts, those scripts build geometry. No images are generated, no artwork is replaced. The MCP server is a scripting interface, and it works with any AI, not just Claude. That's the whole point of an open protocol. One more thing, and the Blender Lab says this explicitly on their page, so we will too. The MCP server executes LLM-generated code in Blender without any guards in place. It will run whatever the AI sends it. So if you're working with sensitive files or on a machine with access to important data, the recommendation is to use a virtual machine or a dedicated system. Thanks everyone. All references are linked in the description. See you in the next one.